Hey YouTube, what's going on? So today was a long day at work and kind of just in the mood for a simple, quick meal that's just packed with a lot of flavor and gives me that heat and that spice that I just absolutely love. So what I decided to do tonight is we're gonna cook a snapper fillet. That way we get some good fish, good start to the week there. I'm gonna poach that in some coconut milk, which is seasoned with a bunch of spices. And then in the same pan, we're gonna cook some vegetables, broccoli, some tomatoes, some sweet peppers. And we're gonna just bake that in the oven. Quick meal, gonna take about 20 to 30 minutes. At the same time, I'm gonna cook some quinoa on the side and just make just an absolutely delicious meal. All right, so the first thing I do is I'm just gather all of my ingredients out. Got my 10-ounce snapper fillet. Got about a little over a cup of grape tomatoes. Had a few extras, so I decided to just toss them in. A couple cups of broccoli florets. They've both been washed and set aside. Got a few sweet peppers here. Got an onion, half a serrano pepper, a few cloves of garlic, and some ginger. And got a half a cup of quinoa. Got my chili garlic sauce. This is one of my absolutely favorite things to cook with. Coconut milk. Got my curry powder, and I've got my spices here. And specifically in this recipe, going to be using cumin, coriander, some turmeric, and those are going to be my three main spices. I will be using a little bit of mustard seeds as well here, just to get this stir fry going. So I'm going to prep these up and get these ready to go. Alright, so I've got my onion, serrano pepper, ginger, garlic kind of prepped on the side here. Slice my peppers, and those are all just going to go together. Now I'm going to go ahead and just prep my spice mix here. So I'm going to start off with a teaspoon of turmeric, teaspoon of coriander, teaspoon of cumin, a teaspoon of hot curry powder. And you know what, I'm going to add just a little bit more coriander powder here just because I'm in the mood for it. So now this spice mix is essentially what I'm going to have, and I'm going to set this aside. Onions, the serrano pepper, the ginger, and the garlic here in just a mini food processor. And I'm going to process these till it becomes into a fine paste. That's what the onions, peppers, ginger will come out to. It's a very, very fine paste. Is just extremely finely chopped. And so now what I'm going to do here is I've got a pan here, and I'm going to put a little bit of olive oil in the pan over medium heat. Now within the pan there, I am going to put just a teaspoon, half a teaspoon of mustard seeds. Now as the pan heats up, once those mustard seeds begin to pop, that's when I know that it's ready to go. And in the meantime, I've also put on the back stove here my quinoa in with a cup of water. Oh, see it starting to sizzle a little bit? So then that's how I know it's time to go ahead and put in my onions and my peppers. Now I'm going to saute this for about a minute or two, just here until it gets to be nice and translucent, the onions, and then so now we're about a minute later, and I can see that the onions and stuff has begin to brown a little bit. At this point, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in the spices directly in the onions there, and I'm going to stir this up to coat the spices. And then I want the spices to sweat. If you've seen them in some other videos, to me this is a very important part here. Let the spices sweat with the onions and just let those flavors just come together absolutely beautiful. So it's been about a minute, and I can really smell those spices. Everything is just coming together absolutely perfectly. Now, at this point, I am ready to go ahead and pour in my coconut milk, which I've used an organic coconut milk here. And I'm also going to put in just a little bit of that chili garlic sauce that I just absolutely love. And then I'm going to go ahead and stir this up. Now I can see here after stirring it up, got this beautiful yellow color. And the smells are just, oh man, just absolutely. My mouth is watering. I'm salivating right now. And so now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to reduce the heat here to medium-low. And I'm going to let this simmer for 5 minutes. I've got my snapper fillet here. All I'm going to do is I'm going to salt and pepper both sides. So my coconut milk has finished simmering with all those spices just bubbling up and making everything just smell perfect. I got a 9x9 baking dish here. Got my veggies on the side, and I've got my snapper fillet there. So all I'm going to do here is I'm just literally going to pour my coconut milk directly into my baking dish. And I'm going to scrape the bottom of my pan here because I want all of those little onion pieces and everything kind of in my curry as it goes. So at this point I've got that going. Now I'm going to dip my snapper, the top of it, and then I'm just going to lay the entire thing directly into the coconut milk. Just like that. And then I'm going to literally just put the veggies into the tray and just surround the snapper with the veggies because I just want these veggies to cook into the coconut milk as well. And now at this point, this will take about 7 or 8 minutes inside the oven, and I'm gonna stick this in there, and then we'll see how it turns out. Okay, so right now I just pulled the fish out of the oven. The veggies, in this dish, I kind of like them more on the raw side, not super soft and stuff. I wanted them nice and crispy, so that I didn't cook them for that long. If you want them a little bit softer, you can maybe half steam them in the microwave before you toss them in the dish. Now I checked my fish, it's just beginning to get it's flaky enough so I know it's cooked. I've got my quinoa here on the side and I've got some chopped cilantro. So now we're going to go ahead and plate the dish here.